Quick sound check. Good morning. Thank you. All right, we'll get started in a couple more minutes. Might get started an extra couple minutes early, a little or later. Just running a little bit behind on the setup this morning. My fault. Sorry about that. Be playing some Goose games today. I'm going to go over a couple other market things and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about business as usual or not. So I do want to have a conversation with you guys. Anybody want to type in the YouTube chat? Let me know that you're around. That'd be great just to see it's working properly for me. Quick good morning. Thanks, Raul. Good morning. Good morning. Like I said, I'm going to start this an extra minute or so late, just because of the late setup that I had. I apologize for that, but we'll get going in a minute or two. I know it's 8:30 just turned, but give it another minute or so for people to join. Hopefully everybody's ready to have a great day today. Last time I looked, futures were up a little bit. We'll see what happens. So far, a good week here. But we'll talk about that a little bit. I'm gonna try to keep my intro kind of short today and just dive right in. And it's 30 minutes seems like a long time, but we'll see. So let me let me get started. First of all, get going here this morning. Good morning, everyone. This is Jason here. I'm one of the pro traders over at TrueTrader.net. I am a former market maker. I've been around the business since the early 90s. This is the Midweek Watch. We're doing this on Thursday mornings at 8:30. Just so you guys can kind of see what I'm looking at, a little bit of commentary, a little bit of motivation maybe, market commentary, as well as a few ideas. We're going to be playing the Goose games today like we've been doing every day. I think you guys are really doing great with that. I love seeing it. It brings in a little bit of conversation as well. It's pretty interactive, so we're going to keep with that mode. All I ask from you guys is make sure you guys are hitting that like button. I should say smashing the like button to sound like all the other YouTubers, right? Hit that like button. Make sure you guys are leaving comments. I actually noticed there was a comment last week that I did not address. I will get to that today. I apologize. But I usually am really good at jumping right on comments. And so if you guys have any questions about what I cover, make sure you guys leave comments. Make sure you guys are also setting your alerts. Ricky comes out on Sundays and does his Sunday prep, and he spends a lot of time and effort on this, guys. And the topics that he's covering are just phenomenal. Like every week there's something new, whether it's psychological, whether it's trading oriented. You guys really have to be tuning in for that. I don't care whether you've been doing this a few years and you think, hey, I'm making, $250,000 a year. I'm set. I'm good to go. Always be driving to be better, guys. And the other trick to this is the market is forever turning. So, you're going to be trading new strategies. You could be trading for a few years and you could be a profitable trader. I promise you that, some of those strategies are just going to change. I mean, I don't want to get into too much about that, but it happens to everybody. It happens to veteran traders that have been doing this 25 years, and it happens to the new traders. So always be trying to drive and learn more. And if you take a little piece out of what Ricky's doing every Sunday, which is phenomenal stuff, I think it's worth the hour that he goes through. Besides the fact that there's some golden nuggets in there for ideas that he comes up with, there's absolute gold in there. So with that all being said, let's jump into the disclaimer here. Pull up the disclaimer. So here we go. True Trader nor its representatives are not registered as a security broker dealer or an investment advisor with the SEC or any state regulatory authorities. We are not licensed nor qualified to provide investment advice. Guys, I'm not a licensed broker anymore. I'm not here to give you investment advice. This is 100% for entertainment purposes only. Okay? 100% entertainment purposes only. There's my disclaimer. All right. So before I get going and talk about the SPY and the Qs, I want to talk about something real quick with you guys, and I've covered this in little tidbits, I think in a couple other broadcasts that I did. But I put a question mark up there. Is it business as usual? And the answer to that is no in a way. And you say, whoa, wait a second, aren't we coming into work every day? Yes, you come into work every day. But I really, truly hope in my heart you guys have learned to make adjustments. Okay, the market is forever changing. Okay, and it really is one of those things that, when you see a market like this and you have these, and this is normal. Okay, you're just going to go, whoa, wait a second. Aren't we, the Qs are down at the 200 day. You got, the SPY here down at the 126 day. And, I looked at my swing book and it's down 20% or 15 or whatever the number is for your swing book, and if you're trading big stocks, what the heck is going on? How are you saying that's normal? Listen, guys. The market has these big ups and big downs all the time. But the one true thing is the market's always finding new highs, okay? This was just a new high not too long ago, back in January, okay? Early January. You think that's a big time frame, January, early January to now, which is 2-3 weeks or whatever? You're nuts. It's business as usual. And some of the things that you see, whether it's interest related, whether it's an individual stock that's related, the dry ships and some of these crazy runners, the GMEs and the AMCs, and every year there's something like that. And you always got to be adapting to these things and these moments and how you're trading and the size you're trading. So what do we do right now? With this is business as usual. So what do we do? Listen, when you have a volatile market like this, where it has these big ups and downs and these big gaps, ups and downs, you guys have to make adjustments. I mean, it's just my opinion, but I mean, you got to be able to adapt to the markets. There's sometimes that the market is going to give you so much. It's just going to be in a steady trend. I think it was not last October, but the October before. I mean, you could throw darts at the dartboard, man, and everything was hitting when it came to swings. It was just amazing. Everybody, was coming off, joining the trading community because of COVID, and they're like, this is the easiest business in the world. And then in February and January and March, everybody got slaughtered. It was like, oh my God, what is this all about? Anybody could raise their hand and admit to that. I think that was a majority of people actually. The market just flipped like this. So what did we do to adjust? Well, right now we're in that kind of same market where you're seeing, tech getting demolished and other things happening. And you're seeing these huge pulls in the Qs and the NASDAQ. One of the things that you guys got to do is adjust size. I'm trading every day. I come in, I come up with ideas. I'm posting them in my room, but my size is probably 1/5 of what I normally trade. I don't do add because, it's going to be so hard to get back. Maybe I get back to break even. It's, even if I have 3 levels or 2 levels that I love on it, I'm stopping out my things even. I'm making adjustments, and you constantly have to be making adjustments, guys. But the big thing is size. I don't care whether you're trading futures, whether you're trading options, or whether you're trading stock. This type of volatility affects them all. If you're trading futures, you're getting these huge whippy candles, that's just amazing on these candles where you could be dead right on it, but you get stopped out, and then the futures go exactly where you want them to go. Options, same idea. You get these stocks that usually are trading, in 2 ATR, and they're having $3-4 down days. Well, what's that doing to your options? And you have a time value, especially if you're swinging them right on those options. And then, it takes 2 weeks for the market to recover, and you get the big gamma crush, and then you're screwed because, it never finds its way back up. So no matter what vehicle you're trading, you guys have to make adjustments. And I just want to make sure that people aren't coming into work every day and thinking that we're going to trade the exact same way. You have your levels, you're smart, you're using discipline, I'm using my right stops, and there's no adjustments that need to be made. I could trade the same size, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's just part of the business. It's not always like that. You have to make, I'm not saying not to have plans and your own plans, but you have to make other adjustments as well based on what the market's doing. And with this high volatility, I really hope you guys are making these adjustments for yourselves. I think it'll save you guys a lot. Just talking about the markets in general, just coming, getting back into the markets. I said to you guys last week, I think this is going to be a short-lived thing. What does that mean? Does that mean a week? Listen, eventually I'm going to be right. I could come in here every Thursday and tell you guys, I think the market's going to be back on highs. Guess what? I'm going to be right at some point, okay? I'm not one of those guys that's going to say that. Do I think that the market is a little heavier than I would have thought it would be so far? Yeah, I do. I think it's a little heavier than I thought. I think that this news is going to get soaked back up at some point. It hasn't yet. I think the NASDAQ has been heavier than I thought. It's down here at the 200-day. But hey, that I don't have a crystal ball, but I do think that this will get soaked up at some point near term. I think there's a lot of value names out there right now. Just be careful of picking bottoms, and if you're picking them and swinging them, make sure you guys have staying disciplined. Don't just ride it down. It's a real simple math, but a stock that goes from 5 to 10, is a stock that drops from 10 to 5 is a 50% move, correct? 50% downside. Well, what happens if it wants to go back to 10? What kind of move does that have to make? It has to make a 100% move. So some of these moves, if you're just riding them down, saying it's whatever, it's JP Morgan or it's or any other stocks, and you don't have a plan, let's say, just make sure that you guys have plans on some of these names. I'm not saying there's not tremendous value. I mean, I'm stalking names like JP Morgan. I mean, there's so many names out there that I love. From a swing perspective, but make sure you guys have plans. You just don't ride things down and it turns into how it was 12 months ago or whatever it was when I talked about that time where we had that really crazy run from September to December, and then all of a sudden January, February hit and everybody got demolished. Don't let that bury you. You guys, we talk about this every single day. We actually start the broadcast of our Zoom every single day about capital preservation is key. Capital preservation. I mean, Ricky does an amazing job teaching this and preaching it. We all do it, but I mean it's something that we say every morning before we start the broadcast. Capital preservation is the key, right? So make sure you guys are doing that from a big picture. So anyways, yeah, and there's other stocks like Ricky exactly from 71 to 18 too. But anyway, the market's how I feel right now. I think that this is I do think this is going to get bought back up. And just to show you on the cues, I want to show one more thing. Everybody's wondering about the 200-day. Is there going to be this capitulation that, that the market comes in and just, everybody's like tapping out. I call that the tap out, where everybody's like, I'm out. And the market has this gigantic flush, out from it, stop orders and everything. I don't know whether it's already, started to happen or already happened. I see this 200-day and everybody's like, if it breaks a 200-day, then what? Okay. Listen, guys, I just want to show you guys something. Okay. This is going to take a second to drag it back. You guys remember this? Broke the 200-day here. Remember this, right? This was March when COVID hit. Look at how fast we were back up on highs. Okay, that was a couple months. Now, I know this is hindsight, but my point is like we have these things that we use and these tools that we use, these moving averages and so forth. It's not life or death sentences. I'd like to see this psychologically hold this cues, the 200-day. It would be nice to see it hold. You can see this prior support in this area. I think it should hold. I think if it continues to break down and the market continues to be heavy, I think you could have another pretty decent flush in the market. But I think short term, I think this is actually going to get soaked up, and I think we're going to be back up on highs. That's just my opinion. We'll see how it plays out over the next week or two. But be cautious and be smart, folks, okay? Now let's get ready for some Goose games. What do you guys think? You ready? All right, well, I'm ready. How's that? So we're going to start right off, and we're going to talk about one name, and I want to preface a couple things about this. We're going to talk about Travelers today. TRV, Traveler Company. Symbol is Tom, Romeo, Victor. If you guys are new to the broadcast, what I want you guys to do is I'm looking for a long on this. I want you guys to tell me where I might be looking for a long on this stock, Travelers, TRV. Now, have in mind, they have a 9 a.m. conference call. They came out with their financials. To me, they look very good numbers. It had a big gap. It went as high as, I think it went as high as 170 at some point last night or this morning, whenever the report was. But let's get going here. What do you guys think on Travelers? Where's my spot on Travelers today? TRV. Feel like I'm going fast today. Am I going too fast? No problem. You guys are all coming in the same level here, huh? I'll tell you one thing. I am a little bit more conservative than you guys. Timothy, there you go. Now I'm with Timothy on this. I'm going to pull up the chart now that I got a bunch of answers. And what I'm looking for on Travelers is a trade back. I see the big gap up here. I don't want to trade it here. I think this is too close, okay? That's just my opinion. I think it traded up into earnings. So I want to be a little bit more conservative. I just want to point that out. Sometimes when stocks trade up into earnings, I mean, you can see what a big move this has had, right? With the financials. But you guys could see that, TRV, excuse me. But it went up to all the way up into the 168. It's already had a big push. I have written down 160.10. I'm with Timothy down there. And that, to me, is a G2C type play off the prior low and the previous close. Just have in mind, guys, one of the reasons I also didn't do this, they have a 9 a.m. conference call. So I think anything, funny about guidance, I just want to be careful about it. But 160.10 is what I have on the on Travelers for a possible long. That's off the previous low and the previous close. So let's move on. You can also see, by the way, and if you were looking at the 20-day, you got the 20-day right above it. And Leha as well, yeah? All right, so next thing is I'm looking at FUTU as a possible long. FUTU. See my notes I wrote down on this? Okay, so this is really close I wrote down on this, I think. Yeah, I wrote down this is close. And what I mean by it when I say it's close is there's a couple names that I'm going to be covering this morning that are really close that I want to see the action off of. Okay, so FUTU is one of them. It's a little bit close there, but let's see what you guys think for a long. I'm getting heckled, by the way, by Adriano. I'm going to call out his name. Heckler. Like I said, my area is close on this. You guys are all looking at a good area that I looked at, but I wanted to be a little bit closer on this. Let's see what it's looking like. I'm going to pull it up. I know it takes a little bit of a delay. That's pretty far down there for me on FUTU. Okay, so what I'm looking for on this, guys, let me blow this chart up a little bit more. I love these type of patterns. You can see how it was yesterday. You can see it closed above the 50-day. This purple line is the 50-day. So I'm looking right now for this to push into 57. Okay, I think that's going to happen. All right. So what I have on this is off the $50 number. $50.30 is what I have right off this monthly pivot. And I said it's close. It's only $1 away. I know, it has a bigger ATR on this. I just lost my ATR on my chart, so I got to fix that. Where did my ATR go? That's interesting. All right, well, I'll put it back on the chart afterwards. Sorry about that, guys. All right, I'll add it back in afterwards. Apologize. But off this $50, I think this is breaking out. If you draw a line, you can see it's kind of clearing. Strong yesterday, closed above the 50-day. You can make the argument down there at that 50-day area. You can make it, a little bit below. I like it, or a previous close. I like it right off that $50 number, guys. Thanks, Ricky, on that. I don't know what happened to my ATRs, and I don't want to reload my charts while I'm live. So some of these, okay. So let's just move on. So that's FUTU long off 50-30, guys. I'm telling you my thinking. I'm thinking it's going to break out and push up into this with the market. I want to be long right off that big $50 number. All right, and there's a monthly pivot right there. You also see it's a, this is a prior resistance clearing above. All right, let's go. And NVIDIA is the next one on there. Now, I'm going to tell you this. This is one that I wrote very close on, okay, NVIDIA. Now, again, I want to talk about this because I started to. What I like to look at is on these names, let's say it's trading at, 100 or trading at 101. And I'm putting a level at 110 or something like that. My thought is I want to see how it trades against those levels. If there's enough there for me to be interested in it, it doesn't mean that I have a live order in there knowing it has a 10 or 12 ATR that I'm just going to sit there and soak it up and ride it down 4 points. I'll have a plan, but I want to see a lot of times what I look for on those type of trades that are close is I'll look for it to bottom there, show support, make a higher low, and then it gives me an entry off that higher low. You guys understand that? So NVIDIA, that's what I'm looking at. So Curly, you are right on the money there, or close to it. Good job, Curly. Anybody else? Do you guys see what I'm looking at on NVIDIA? Let's pull it up. Here you guys go. You guys are all in the same area now. So let's pull up NVIDIA. And again, an ATR on this one, I don't even know what it is. I think it's like 14 or something like that. Ricky could type it if or anybody can put the ATR on there, but I think it's pretty high. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know how I accidentally deleted it. I don't even know how to get it back, which is the funny part. So I'll figure it out. And what I thank you 14. I knew it was up there. Thanks guys. But what I'm looking at, this 126 day, I have the 126 day written down. I have a prior close is right there and the previous day's low. I like this right here, guys. I think this could be a nice long NVIDIA, but again, it's only $3 away. Let's see what it does, any type of action, and go from there. So a long off 250.10 is what I have written down. 250.10 is what I have written down, just above that $250 number. All right. All right, next one. If you guys, by the way, I don't have the ATRs. If somebody wants to just put them as I call it, the symbols, that'll be helpful. Ricky or Raul, that'd be great. Next one is going to be TER, symbol TER. I feel like I'm going a little slow here. And I'm looking for a long on TER. Anybody see something on TER for a possible long? Thanks, Curly, on that. So TER we're looking at. Ooh, big shag in the house. You guys are right there. So I have on TER. You guys are right on the money on this TER, by the way. Good job, Daniel, Curly. Big shag. But I have it right here. You can see my alert set up right off this 140.50 area. I have 145.50 for a long written down. You got an annual pivot, a quarterly pivot, and also you can see this prior support right over here. So TER, good job on that one. You guys were all over it. There you go, Tej, right there. ATR $6. Thank you very much. Again, guys, you guys will say, why aren't you trading just the ATR on these things? Is every tool is just what I just said. It's a tool. I use ATR, I get averages, I got pivots, I got support levels. You put everything together, you mash it together, and that's what you end up with your ideas. So I don't just look at where it's trading now, drop the ATR down, and if there's nothing there, I don't put it on my list. I like to see stocks that come into certain levels and watch the action off those levels. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, next one is going to be DFS. I'm looking for a short on DFS. Numbers were not great in my opinion on DFS. That's Dog Frank Sam. Water break. Water boy. By the way, Adriano, I like the heckling. Keeps me on my toes. What do you guys think on DFS for a short? Anybody see anything up there? Oh, Tom. Curly. You guys are, let me just say, you guys are exactly on the money on that. That's exactly what I have written down on there, 118.50. Good job, good job. I'm a little bit below that, Irfan. But let's talk about this right here, right into the previous day's close, guys. Previous low, quarterly. And what I'm looking for on it, I think that this is going to be one of those that closed on lows. I really got to believe the sellers are still going to be around in this name, especially after looking at their numbers. 118.50 for a short is what I have written down. Now, adversely, anybody want to say I do have a long written down on this? It's not my primary trade, but anybody want to guess where I'm looking at a possible long as well? Yeah, you're talking about right up in here, but down there's a long area as well. You guys are in the ballpark. I'm pretty far down there. I have 112.10 written down on it. Okay, I see the pivot in the annual here, but I went a little bit below that to that prior quarter and that prior monthly, and this prior support. I went to 112.10 on that, but either 113, 111, I could see both those with that annual pivot. Prior annual pivot in a monthly, I could see either of those, but I'm right in between those. 112.10 is what I have written down for a possible long if it comes down there. All right, let's move along here. After the DFS short, we have AMD. I know I have NVIDIA already, but I have AMD written down as well. AMD for a possible long. AMD. It's another one I have. So this is... There was a downgrade by Piper today. I love trading downgrades and upgrades and things like that for shorts or longs. Just my trading style, little things that I put in. AMD, anybody seeing a long on AMD? Yeah, I went a little bit below that on that one, Arfan. But you guys are in the ballpark, I'll tell you that. Not that low, Big Shag. So I wrote down on this one, you can see the alert down there. I wrote down off this quarterly, I think I took it at 122.5. I went a little bit below the 126 day. I went to this previous quarterly, which you guys could see is also prior resistance, prior resistance. Prior resistance equals what, guys? New support, correct? So let's see what happens. It's a little bit further back, these resistance points, but you know, this one's a couple months ago. But let's see what happens. I like the 126 day here. I like the previous quarterly. This one, again, is a little bit close. I don't remember AMD, what they are, but they're up there as well. Maybe around $10 on their, here's a guess on that one. Ricky could tell me if I'm close. Adriano, he asked me to blow him a kiss. Is that terrible? There you go. Okay, so anyway, AMD 122.50. Just keep an eye on it off that action, all right? So AMD. Yeah, what's the ATR on that? $6.95. Thank you on that. I thought it was closer to 10, but okay. Let's talk about Walmart for a second, guys. This is one I wrote down. It is extremely close. I wrote down, circled it, put it in bold letters. Walmart. You guys talked about the bromance is very real, guys. But let's talk about Walmart for a second, okay? It's very close. I have on Walmart. But let's take a look at that one. And there's a place where I want to get long Walmart, WMT. Anybody thinking Walmart? Good job, though, guys, on AMD. Sorry about that. Good job, Rob. You're real close on that one. Rob F. Walmart, yep. You guys, there you go, Tim. Timothy, sorry. Timothy. Daniel, there you go. So you guys know that I'm close on this. You guys are seeing what I'm looking at here. You got prior lows and a monthly pivot. Let's pull it up. But you see these two prior lows here, and I see this monthly pivot here. I can't ignore that, guys. I know it's close. I have one right off this 142 area. It's less than a point away. Have in mind, I think Walmart's a really tight ATR as well. A couple bucks or so. Curly, you're on it already. Thank you. 242. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that. You guys hear me okay? Thumbs up? Yeah, I had a internet thing. Tell me if it's come back now. We're back. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Let me pull up UAL. All right, sorry about that. It was that happened the other day. Remember that? It was kind of weird. Very strange. But UAL, what I'm looking for on UAL, I have written down is 45.70 on UAL. I don't think anybody had a chance to put something on UAL. I apologize. I screwed up on UAL, giving you the numbers already. Let's see if you guys put some stuff out there real quick. Big Shag. 45.70. What I'm looking at here, it's trading at 44. Is I have right there 45.70. I have the previous high, quarterly pivot, prior support right into this level right here, okay? You also have a 50-day right around there. 45.30 is a 50-day. I think this could be a really good short, this UAL, if it pushes into 45.70. So watch UAL, okay? We're back. I only have two more. I'm going to look at, I know I have a lot of technology today, but I just, gotten beaten up. I want to see if it catches a bid today, all right? Again, if they're heavy, these technologies, NVIDIA, AMD, some of these names I'm throwing out there, Teradyne, make sure you guys, acknowledge the industry, acknowledge what's going on. But I also am looking at AMAT, AMAT. Okay, I'm looking for a possible long on AMAT. I think this is another name that's overdone. AMAT. There's two levels I have written down on AMAT. I'll give them both to you, but let's try to find the one that's the first level that I'm going to look at. Anybody on AMAT? Sorry about that drop, guys. Technology. Nothing I could do. Okay. So just so you know, Daniel, you're into my second level. Curly, you're at my first level. And Curly, you're right on the money on my first level. And Tom, good job, T-Burn. So let me pull up AMAT. I have written down 2 levels. I have 143.10 as my first spot. Okay, 143.10. That's right off this previous close, previous day's low. You have the 126 day a little bit below it and this other support here. I want to kind of watch the action. That is close, guys, okay? The other level I've written down is 141.40. And it's this is this previous quarterly right here and this other previous lows right here. So those are 2 spots and I'm looking for it. Tej, that's way down there. I mean, if it gets down there, that'd be pretty crazy, but off that annual pivot. But watch AMAT off 143.10 and 141.40. Those are 2 spots I'm interested in. I'd probably trade the 143.10, stop out if I'm wrong, and revisit it at 141.40. That's probably how I would trade this because I think 143.10 is a little bit close. All right? Good job on the AMAT. Last one, guys. You ready? My favorite ticker in the whole wide world, Ricky. Let's talk about dicks. And we're not talking about long dicks. We're talking about short dicks. I'm looking at a spot to short dicks. I could put this symbol on every single time I do this broadcast, just so you know. I am that childish. So I'm looking for a short in dicks. I actually had this nailed yesterday, and I missed it by a smidge. I'm not going to revenge trade it, but if it gets back up into this level, I am definitely all over it. Where might there be a short in dicks? I don't know what you guys are talking about, by the way. Richard Sporting Goods. Kevin Thomas, right on the money. I am at 119.50, folks. 119.50 on dicks. Doesn't get better than that. Listen, guys, you have a lot there. You got a quarterly pivot. You got the 126 day, the prior quarterly here, prior resistance in this area. Today, yesterday's high up in that area. You never know with the market if it wants to make a quick shove, trade it back to VWAP for a nice short. Could be a really sweet one. So I like the short on dicks. See what happens. I know where it's where it's gonna open today. Hang on, let me see where it's. I gotta figure out that ATR before I get going. But it was down a little bit earlier when I looked at it. But I think that's a bad print. Anyway, I like the short on dicks there at 119.50. So that's it for me, guys. Hope you guys are enjoying the Goose games. You guys are doing a real kick-ass job in the Goose games. I'm real proud of you guys. Really, really good stuff. If you guys have any questions or any comments, please leave them below. I promise I will get to them. I'll get to last week's as well. There was a question last week I definitely wanted to answer. I saw it on my cell phone, and I never got back to it. So I apologize for that. As far as everything else, make sure you guys are hitting that like button for us. Make sure you guys are subscribed. And make sure you guys are telling your friends about this. I mean, tell your friends about the Thursday one. Tell them about the Sunday one. Try to get it, build this audience. We're doing this, guys, for free to keep everybody there. Make sure you guys come check us out over at truetrader.net. Awesome community. We're all, you got some incredible mods there. You got some incredible members there that are always giving and posting their morning reports or morning watches. I mean, it's a hell of a community. So, needless to say, appreciate all you guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. It's 9 o'clock, so I'm going to cut this up, and we will see you in the. I'll be on Zoom this morning, so I'll see you guys in about 15 minutes or so on Zoom. Thank you guys. Appreciate you all. Have a great.